Do you want to know the primary method on how they want to handle age verification?
Sure. I'm not a New Yorker, so I don't know, but please go ahead.
Why does the battery decide to work for like 2 seconds and then shuts off? I don't know.
Just like on mine. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of the iTunes Fan Podcast. As always, I'm Teddy Macker from the iTunes Fanboy. Still with a cold.
And my name is Alpha DeWolf.
Yeah, but it turns out I still have that cold I had last week, too, as this cold is really hanging on there, and I have basically nothing in my nose, but everything in my throat, which causing me a cough pretty aggressively, but shall I get started with other bugs I've had in terms of iOS?
Huh. Weird how you're getting all the bugs, because I still have the exact same bug as before, where my AirPods just refuse to connect. And that's it.
So my problem with iOS 26 is that, this, I'm just fine unless I talk, but my latest iOS 26 bug is, this has been going on for a little bit while now, but this is often happening where whenever I'm airdropping a video from my iPhone to my Mac, it'll like start to and then freeze up and claim that it's still going even though it's not, for like usually the first time I try to send it. And then it takes on Friday, I think it was either Friday or Tuesday that it took me like 2 tries. Yeah, it was on Friday. I think that it took 3 tries before I was able to get the video airdrop, but
I remember back when in iOS 18, I was having problems where I'd hit airdrop and it just instantly failed. Didn't even bother trying. It just instantly failed.
Yeah, another reason. One reason why I had to upgrade the first issue I had with my iPhone 11 Pro Max that caused me to get my iPhone 14 Pro. Hang on, let me grab them. The first issue I had with my iPhone 11 Pro Max back in June 2022 that started was that it would randomly stop up airdropping videos to my Mac, and I knew it probably wasn't a software issue because I hadn't updated my phone in several months. So I figured it was probably a hardware related issue. And yeah, that was just the first of the issues I had.
Yep, well, I don't know what to say on that, but
shall I move on to the Idiot Award?
Oh, right, we got a couple of those this time. Oops, not FaceTime. I want messages. All right. Let's see.
Alright, so my most recent one is from yesterday. On my video that I did on the iPod 3rd generation, this one guy commented, "Why do you sing when you talk? Also, connector feature." Yeah, I know it's exactly how I said it back in that video.
No, it's not.
Yeah, I did not sing when I talk, so. And then there was this one. And then I got another.
Yeah, that's my thing.
You don't even sing that much in your videos, but
yeah, not that much anymore. But I mean, if I'm getting a little frustrated, my voice will start to increase in the pitch just a lot of bit.
Yeah, so I think a lot of people do that. But on my most recent video I made about my infotainment system has an issue. One guy commented, "MyPay India," and I replied, "How is that relevant to this video?" Because this is on the same infotainment issue with my infotainment system that I'm having with my car. I'll probably get fixed tomorrow, from what it sounds like, or some one of these next few days. So yeah, but that's not the point. But how is that relevant? I have no clue.
I'm wondering if it's a bot.
I don't know. I think I follow a guy on Twitter actually, and he seems maybe legit, but I don't know. I don't know though. But yeah, that seems a little bit odd. Then this is probably my favorite. This is an interesting one. This is on my video on jailbreak tutorial for iOS 4.3 through 7.1.2 via Aquila. And this one on 32-bit only Mac and Windows. And this one guy commented, Jesus died for our sins to grant us eternal life and deliver us from sin to holiness only by his power. Since our sins had separated us from God, God himself incarnated in a true human form yet without sin, whom we call the only begotten Son of God. Now, that is true, but there's only one problem. That's not relevant to this video.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that's an interesting place to preach.
Yes. That comment looks possibly AI generated too. Or else directly copied from the Bible.
Oh, it is not directly copied. Trust me, it's not.
Yeah.
So.
Sounds AI generated maybe, but I don't know, but...
Not sure, but I'm wondering if I'm about to get some idiot awards in my video I'm uploading tomorrow.
What is it?
It's the GMC terrain video. That video is just long overdue.
That'd be interesting to see, but we're still recording next week. I forgot when my Europe trip is, but yeah, we'll still be recording next week.
Yep.
If I were both available, so... Shall I move on to Apple's accessibility features for iOS 27 that they announced this week?
I wonder if they've already previously existed and they're just bringing more light to it. Because I feel like that's what they've been doing a lot with accessibility these days.
Yeah, I mean, from what I don't remember, like this time I haven't gone too in depth into this because I'm sorry, but I just can't get too excited about these because I don't really need them. But I mean, a lot of these are AI powered too, like Apple Intelligence powered, which you know how well that's going to go.
Oh gosh.
Speaking of who we should give the idiot award to.
You had Google's I/O in here, right? Oh yes, you did.
Yes, that's further down the list, but yeah.
Yeah, I never have anything to discuss when it comes to Apple's accessibility stuff because it doesn't apply to me.
Yeah, I think
so. And when it comes to accessibility too, it's hard for me to see application for it because, I mean, disability comes in so many different forms you can't even think of. So,
yeah, I mean, there was the basic stuff like voiceover. That's very necessary. I get that. Voice control. I get that because there are some people that don't have hands and maybe can't operate devices with their prosthetic hands. Like I can get that maybe, and then like hearing aid compatibility. That's an important one.
Another good one was when they switched to the solid state home button with the iPhone 7. They brought the home button thing to the screen in case you struggle to actually work the home button.
Yeah, there's some of Apple's accessibility features that make sense, but I just especially if they're powered by Apple Intelligence, I just can't get behind them, especially and I mean that's a good what else am I try? I remember back in 2022 when Tabby and I, back when we were doing the show, we covered some of the old covered some of the accessibility features for iOS 16 at that point because they announced them early then too, but we just didn't. I don't remember what all they announced. Like that's how boring it was, but I was going.
Well, I guess it's good for the one person who needs it.
Yep. Now, how about making Touch ID more accessible to people with eczema on the Mac?
That would be particularly nice, as I legit have no usable fingerprints at the moment. And it is absolutely infuriating. I can't even use it with the Mac. The Mac I've typically had success with, but nope, doesn't work on the Mac, doesn't work on the XPS, it doesn't work on my Pixel 6 Pro. Yeah, it's I hate the skin condition. Because any biometric security that uses fingerprints, it's impossible.
Shall I move on to Porsche?
Porsche adds the Apple Wallet key support. So this is, if I recall, the first example they gave was with BMW, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, maybe. I can't remember exactly this either, but I mean, I'm sure Tabby would be a lot more excited for this.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. I'm trying to think. Apple's added a few brands since then. Funny enough, Hyundai and Kia are on that list.
Who's next on the list? Mazda, Chrysler, Maserati.
Yeah, I don't think they'll be getting on that list anytime soon. Be nice if Mercedes added it. No chance Tesla's doing it. There's no way they do it.
Yeah, that's really sad, but sure. I mean, it's cool for Porsche owners, I guess. So it's cool. Glad to see the Apple Wallet key support is getting added for more and more cars. But shall we move on to but shall we go ahead and move on to Bartender on macOS?
Okay, what is
so
this?
It's an application that turns the notch into a dynamic island like feature where you can like grab, where it can like show you, where you can even drag files on top of it to save, to use it in many places.
I'm not entirely sure how useful that is.
Yeah, I wouldn't use it, but Martin from Tech Ultra mentioned it, but
all of the different things that the dynamic island does, it's kind of done on the right side of the menu bar already.
Yeah, exactly. So I don't get exactly like I wouldn't use it, but again, that's not it's. But I also don't even like notches on the Mac anyway, so.
Mm-hmm.
But shall we move on to Google I/O 2026?
Oh, this abomination.
So, apparently Google I/O 2026 wasn't last week when they announced the Google Book. Oh no, this is a completely separate event just filled with all sorts of AI nonsense. And the funniest part was that one presenter used an iPhone. Now, I saw a tweet defending this, saying that Google, that is pretty valid, saying that Google makes money doing no matter what. Google makes money no matter what platform you use because everybody's basically uses their services. I mean, we're even uploading this podcast to Google service. But I mean, it's not the same as like Apple using an Android
and in
phone.
fairness too, Google develops their apps for the iPhone too, so they need to have some iPhones for development purposes.
So we know, and it was an iPhone 17 Pro. So I mean, it's more valid, but still, I mean, in a press release, like. Granted, it does get people talking about the press release, but for a press release, for an official event trying to woo investors, you think they'd rather use a Pixel phone, but
they certainly didn't woo me. I'll say that much.
I don't know who they would be. Yeah, no, 1% are using an iPhone. That's rather funny to see.
Yeah. I'm just worried about what they're going to do with Google search, because it sounds like
yes,
they're really turning it into for the worst. It's sounds like they don't want to bring up websites anymore. They just want to turn Google search into an effective chat bot or something.
Yeah, same. I already hate having to scroll down below the AI generated BS, and I already hate how people will take the AI BS as truth. And I don't want more of this AI BS, and that's not the direction that's going in, and it's just Now I'm starting to get why it's frustrating when Google's the only good search engine out there.
Yeah.
Now I'm starting to understand why Google's getting sued for antitrust.
Yeah. Because any other search engine you use, it's just... Well, I used to say it's not as reliable as Google search, because Google search was just king. But, I mean, ever since they added the AI crap, now you can't find anything. Now you can't search anything because they added that. And now that they're just doubling down on it, we have no good search anymore.
Exactly. The funniest... One funny thing that happened is when I was looking up something for programming this past week or so, I did Google search on that, and strangely enough, for that I got no AI BS for programming.
Yeah, that is highly unusual. I mean, in a sense, too, they've ruined YouTube search too.
Oh yeah, same. I can't even use YouTube search anymore these days.
I mean, I'm looking up tutorials on how to design a PCB, for example.
There's an ice cream truck outside my house.
And everything...
So that's what you hear.
Yeah. Well, for example, I'm learning how to make a PCB, or design a PCB. So I go to YouTube to look for tutorials on different software and how to use it and all the different jargon that I need to understand, only to find videos like, this is why you'd want to design a PCB. It's like, yeah, I'm already past that stage. How the heck do I do it? I can't find a video explaining how you do it. And what do all of these technical terms mean?
I know, it's like how I find it so irritating how there are some subjects on YouTube where there's infinite videos on, then there's some like more complex ones that's so hard to find videos on to make a guide. Like there's this one YouTuber named Ben's Appliances and Junk, which the guy literally created the YouTube channel because he found that there were too many gaps in YouTube for appliance related content to find.
How about even in car repair content? I've discovered you search my car for how to repair or do anything, I am the only guy who shows up.
Yeah, which you should not be the only guy that shows up, especially for a car from a previous decade. And I even saw this one Red thread where I'm sure it's a woman, complained about how there's no video, there's not really that many videos on there to find out how to do all the stuff you need to for cosmetology. Like there's not really that many good guides on YouTube for it. And of course, cosmetology is a very expensive field to get into.
I was trying to find a guide on understanding the USB PD standard, because I thought about powering my contraption with Type-C, but I needed 12-volt power. So I thought, okay, let's use USB PD. And all I can find on YouTube, all I can find are just, this is what USB PD is. This is what it is. I know what it is. How do I integrate it? How do I use it and take advantage of it?
Now, granted,
That's what I want to know. Nobody wants to make a video on that. It's either that or Google search can't, or YouTube search can't tell me where those videos are.
Yeah, which I suspect could be either one. Since granted, with some of these topics, there might not be people that may have made videos on, but for some of these topics, you think surely somebody would have made a video on it that YouTube search just isn't pulling up.
I mean, I would have thought USB PD should at least be common because it's USB. You'd think someone in the custom electronics business would know something about how to integrate USB PD into their system, and yet nobody has a clue. At least from what YouTube has shown me. Nobody has a clue.
Shall I go ahead and mock Google even more for our next topic?
Not just yet. Because I have another rant that I've been meaning to go on too. I know it's becoming a bit annoying how much I've been ranting, but I just can't help it.
I can't really talk all that much right now anyway, so go ahead.
Fair enough. All right, so here comes my next big complaint about AI, particularly in the search and in the research part. So many of these chatbots developers, like OpenAI, Claude, Gemini, any of that type of stuff, can I just say, I hate that they all assume, like, doing research is so hard, so let us take care of the doing research part. Why is this infuriating? It's because if you don't do the research, I find you don't actually learn anything.
Exactly. Exactly. There's some... Exactly. Especially when you're outside of English class and can research on your own terms, then it's like, why? Like, there are no rules to researching. It's just that you just gotta just do your own discerning to find out what sources you can trust and what sources you can't trust.
Because, I mean, there's a lot of... Oh, do I hate this? But, I mean, the reason why I have to say this is because this is just such a relevant example. Part of the reason why there's so much political tension is because nobody does any research on it.
Oh, I totally agree.
Yeah. So that's obvious. People just look at the headlines and they read things they take it for face value, and all of a sudden that's their opinion.
Exactly. Like I read...
When they don't read the entire article, or they don't look for other opinions on the matter to try to see another side, look from another perspective to get around bias. And as a result, you get so much political tension due to people not actually looking into the whole story and becoming so strong-hearted on surface-level information.
Yeah, even though there's a lot more going on than you might realize. Because, like, there's one passage I read once in school for a practice ACT that was such a good... It was about how news... This article was written, like, in 1980, mind you. It's a very old passage, but it was an old passage basically saying how news media will only focus on the old, in turn, the people that circulate it. Like, it's only focuses on, like, aspects that attract attention. So it doesn't focus on aspects of the government that people actually interact with every day, like filing out permits for stuff, the DMV. It doesn't deal with the... And another problem that I mentioned is that a lot of the journalists don't actually, especially because their interns work on, they don't know how the government works, so they don't know they don't know everything that's going on.
That in combination, they're paid by different parties, so... But, that's a problem.
That's average Joes that just don't know what's going on.
Keeping it tech related though.
AI.
We all know that. Keeping it tech related though. There's another problem with the AI because people only read surface level stuff. Can we trust what AI is going to serve people? When they ask questions about what is currently going on in global events, or can I trust this latest tech breakthrough? Is this an actual breakthrough or is it a scam? I don't know.
Exactly.
And these tech firms are trying to market these AI chatbots as, you don't have to do the research anymore. This will take care of you. You don't need to work hard at doing proper research. That's a thing of the past now with AI. And that drives me nuts that they push this so hard when they completely... It's pushing a bad habit on people of not doing research.
Exactly. The reason why I think so many people believe in AI is because they don't do research. And that's the...
It's a big reason why so many people hate electric cars, too. They don't do research.
It's a reason why big scams manage to get through.
Yes, that too.
Like HoloLens glasses.
Or honey.
Yes.
So...
How else do... Do you think Megalad could have done those great videos if he didn't do any research?
No. Oh, there's no way.
Like think of how much time he spends. He spends so much time researching.
So much that he will literally go over a year without posting.
But in the end, it's all worth it because everybody watches his videos once he uploads.
And so far he's been pretty darn accurate.
Yeah, it's very fast. I've debated possibly copying his strategy, but I don't know if I'll do that or not.
So, yeah, the biggest takeaway that I think frustrates me on this AI push, especially in search, is that it puts this bad habit into people of not thinking things through and not doing their research, not actually trying to understand what it is they're either trying to learn or what they're trying to find. It's a really bad habit, and it pisses me off that these tech companies are pushing it this hard. So, I guess just a PSA to everyone. Do your actual research. These tech companies making it seem like you don't have to work this hard. First up, it's not really that hard. It's not as hard as you think it is.
No, it's not. It's not like an English class.
No, it is not like English at all. I mean, about a year ago, Technology Connections gave that example of his radio broke and he wanted to find some capacitors of it. And he said, based off of just looking at it and doing a few Google search queries, he could figure out the exact model of it and find the capacitors for it to get it fixed. And was it really that hard? Is it really as hard as these tech companies make it out to be?
No.
It's really quite simple. I mean, my GMC terrain video that I'm working on, I needed to look up various specs, horsepower and all of that. Did I ask AI, what's the horsepower and all the other yada yada information? Did I ask AI for that? No. I went to multiple sites to verify that the numbers they're all reporting are the exact same, not just taking whatever AI shoves at face value. And that's where I get my numbers. That's how I validate my information. I don't use just this made-up answer in thin air where we're not entirely sure if it's accurate or not just because, good enough. Otherwise, I'd be working so much harder. I really didn't work that hard. I just spent like 3 minutes. Not even 3 minutes. Just browsing through websites and looking for the numbers.
Exactly. It's like, there are some times when like trying to find the best route for delivery drivers to take, like you have to provide a heuristic or a good enough situation, which I covered in one of my latest YouTube videos about algorithms. There are some times when you have to do that. However, research is not usually one of those.
Yeah.
Like for example, like a great example is right now with my cold, which luckily it seems like I finally am starting to get better from this. Right now, I have to provide. Right now, I cannot just perfectly make all symptoms go away. So I have to provide a heuristic solution of just living with it and taking ibuprofen once or twice a day after I eat. But that's a heuristic or good enough situation. As a solution I found because dude, I know this is another side tangent, but I do not like cough syrup personally.
What is this? I just drink throat coat tea and call it a night. That's literally all I do.
Yeah, I can't take. Yeah, I don't. Basically, I just live. Usually with colds, I have a lot more stuff in my nose, not the action down my throat. But this time, it's all throat based. So
yeah, Nonetheless, though, anything that Google announced at I/O this year. Okay, come on, camera, get back over here. Anything Google had announced at Google I/O is nothing meaningful, nothing impactful, and if anything is, I find everything about it I find concerning.
Exactly.
Because it just suppresses the idea of doing your own research, looking into it. Because, I mean, I'll tell you this much. If I didn't look into Apple during my frustration, because, again, I had no idea the Mac was a thing. Back when I was starting to get really frustrated with Windows, I legitimately didn't know the Mac was a thing. I mean, I knew Apple made computers, but I didn't realize Mac OS was a thing.
I've known Mac OS was a thing since I was like 3 or 4, maybe 5.
Yeah. Once I learned that Mac OS was a thing, yeah, you bet I did a bunch more research, watched a lot more videos to see how this platform is, and because I did that research, I am now a happy computer user.
The people who don't do this research are probably the same people stuck on their old crappy Windows laptops. Or their new crappy Windows laptops.
Both old and new, actually. It doesn't matter.
Yep.
So...
Oh, and shall we move on to our next topic about how users need to do their own research about the best, about what Google's doing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this isn't new, by the way.
So Gmail is only giving users 5 gigabytes of free drive storage, just like an iCloud, but users must give their phone number to unlock 15 gigabytes at no cost. So in other words, Google wants to sell your phone number, which is how come they're unlocking the data for you at no extra cost.
Yep.
Good to know.
Good to know how Google views your data, because that should be very telling, although, of course, nobody will think twice about it.
Yeah, I mean,
so.
Google already has my recovery phone number since they usually make you add a recovery phone number anyway. And I don't really use Google Drive that much anyway, so it's not... Because I pay for iCloud Plus, but...
So, I just used Google Drive yesterday, filling out the cardboard after putting my scores in for the GMC. But other than that, I hardly ever touch Google Drive. Hardly ever.
I use Google Drive at school, obviously, but outside of school, not really.
Yep, I stick with iCloud.
We used to use Google Drive for sharing files back before for clips for the podcast before I paid for iCloud storage. Or wait a second, it was before Alpha start. It was before I took over as the editor again.
Yeah. So I don't have anything else to say on that. More AI crap.
AI now has some exploits that can be used, or I mean, it's always had them, but here's some exploits that can be used with it. So, AI can make up non-existent packages or domains and code that hackers can then set to trigger malware. And the copy button on websites can be hacked to copy malware.
Remind me why this technology is a good idea again?
It's not, but I mean this is just a PSA to not to maybe copy stuff down yourself rather than using the copy button.
Sometimes that's all a site gives you, though.
Yeah. I mean, it depends on what site you're... I mean, try to hold down the text yourself and see, but,
Just another reason to not use AI.
Did you know that copy and paste wasn't standard on iPhone OS until iPhone OS 3?
Yeah, I did. As bizarre as that was.
I mean, to be fair, that probably wasn't a thing on our phones, so it makes sense, but... Do you want to know what also wasn't a thing until now on Windows?
Let's see. Huh. This is
haptic support for haptic feedback on mice and trackpads has been on macOS since at least 2015. Microsoft is just now adding support for it. Still won't fix the core issues of Windows, but I'm glad to see they're adding this. long overdue.
Which is
feature.
weird because that's actually not new for Windows laptops specifically. Because if I recall, Dell, when they introduced the XPS Plus, an abomination of an XPS in my opinion, when they introduced the XPS Plus, they had a solid state trackpad. It did not move.
They must have had some. I think Microsoft is adding native support to it without drivers, because I'm sure Dell had their own. I'm sure Dell probably included it in their own drivers.
It might have been a custom Dell solution.
It probably was,
might have been.
Because
luckily
I know it's from watching lots of YouTube videos on old computers, but if you don't collect old computers, you probably don't realize this, but especially if you collect old Windows computers, which is a reason I don't, is with old Windows computers, when you reinstall Windows, which you often have to do, the drivers often go bye-bye, unless you have the original restore CD,
yeah.
So you have to...
Oh yeah, I'm quite familiar with that!
So I'm glad to see Microsoft adding support for this natively for when collectors get their hands on these PCs 20 years from now.
Imagine Windows next bug. They accidentally delete the mouse drivers.
Microsoft, don't get any ideas from this.
Do not get any ideas, but the thing is, I would not be shocked if they found a way to do this. I mean, there have been a few updates in the past where my mice drivers don't load right away on initial boot, and I have to restart the system to get it to load my mouse drivers.
Alpha, how about instead we have the next Windows update disable the CPU socket.
Even better.
And it'll be forced onto
that'd be
millions of machines.
awesome.
That way it'll force everybody to buy new Windows computers. And new Windows hotkeys.
They totally would not get a bunch of lawsuits for that.
Microsoft, don't get any ideas from us.
Actually, I want to complain. If they found a way to bung up the CPU drivers in Windows, and they have to start replacing everybody's computer because of it, I don't think I'd complain that much.
Yeah, I'll bet you
maybe it would help in the fight against the AI data centers. Because all of a sudden, now there's a humongous demand for consumer-grade hardware.
Well, also, you know what that would do for Apple, right? Because I'll bet you there would be some Windows customers, that would be no more.
You're probably right, not gonna lie.
And this might help drive Google Book revenue up too. But mainly
by 1%, maybe.
If Windows did this, then the Mac OS market share will probably increase dramatically.
Yeah. Speaking of Microsoft stupidity, Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation sold all of their Microsoft stock.
They don't even believe in Microsoft anymore. I mean, to be fair, Paul Allen, before he died, one of the other co-founders of Microsoft, he even stated that Windows is a joke and Microsoft is a joke. So, Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation selling it. If I had to bet, this seems like a Melinda Gates thing to do. Because Bill Gates still fully believes in Microsoft, seems like.
Well, I mean, of course he does. he practically built the company.
Yeah. Yes, on lies.
Even if it is now known today as Microslop.
Do you know how Bill and Melinda Gates met, by the way?
Don't know and don't really care.
So, do you remember what Microsoft Bob was?
Wasn't that the dog?
Microsoft Bob was the Windows UI to make it on Windows 95, I think, to...
Oh, that's what it was. That's what it was.
To a real house to make it seem easier to new computer
Yep. Yep, I know what you're talking about.
Melinda Gates was working on the Microsoft Bob project, I believe. And that's how Bill and Melinda Gates met. And we don't talk about why they got divorced. So that way we don't rate this show explicit.
Didn't have to do with Bob, did it?
No. No, the reason why Bill and Melinda Gates divorced is because of something like... Do you know why a divorce is out of curiosity?
Yeah,
okay.
I have a pair of grandparents who are divorced, so...
You have a pair of grandparents that are divorced?
Well, one of them passed away, but the other one seems to be getting there, too, so...
Yikes.
It's my dad's parents. His parents were divorced.
Yikes.
For good reasons, too. We do not discuss my grandfather on the show.
I think I know exactly what it is, and I mean, I don't know exactly, but I have good feelings. I know what's going on.
So, yeah, we don't talk about that one. My other grandpa, the tech enthusiast, yeah, all for it. But the other one, no. We don't discuss him here. So, anywho, moving on, so...
The Sony Xperia 1 Mark 8 is a flagship phone with a micro SD card slot, a headphone jack, and a 4 times larger telephoto sensor.
I like the micro SD card
Glad to
slot.
see it Sony sticking out with that. Now, if only they could fix their naming scheme for phones.
It is so ironic how... Which one was it? They came out with... what they had initially seemed to have settled on a naming scheme at one point. Then they broke it by changing the number for a letter, and then they went in a totally different direction with the Xperia 1. And then by far the single most ridiculous move they've ever made. The Sony Xperia 1
I remember
2.
that. Mr. Who's the Boss mentioned that.
Because for one, nobody calls it the 1 Mark II. Nobody calls it that. Or any of the other Sony Xperia 1 phones. They just call it the 1.2, the 1.3, the 1.4, the 1.5, the 1.6, the 1.7, the 1.8. Nobody adds the mark in there. And Sony wonders why they can't sell phones.
It's not their bad phones, it's just that they have no good naming scheme.
They can't market them to save their lives. If there was a gun pointed at their heads and the objective to put that gun aside was all you have to do is just give a phone a good name, they'd instantly fail. They can't name a product to save their lives. So, but I mean, yeah, I like the micro SD card slot, the larger telephoto sensor thing. I mean, Sony's also a camera company. I hear they make pretty darn good cameras. So, I mean, they say that the cameras in the Xperia line are pretty good, as long as you get the right software to drive them. But, they say they're pretty good. So I'm not too shocked or excited about a 4 times larger telephoto sensor. But the headphone jack, I don't think I really care about, to be honest.
I mean, Sony probably added that because Sony also sells a lot of wired headphones, so they probably want to add that in because it would be a little bit.
But they also sell, don't they also sell, what is it, the XM?
They do sell wireless ones, but again, Sony's based off some old customs too, so
yeah. I mean, I'm not complaining that the headphone jack is there. It's just, I mean, it's 2026. It's been 10 years since the removal of the headphone jack from the iPhone. We've moved on. We've gotten over that breakup. So, even the Android users. So.
Well, it's partially Samsung's fault.
Yeah. Yeah, Samsung was a big reason why a lot of Android users had a hard time with the breakup of the headphone jack, but I'm over it.
Shall I move on to Reddit?
What's the deal with Reddit?
So Reddit is blocking user access on the mobile website, and they're forcing users to use the app instead.
That's weird. Usually everyone's trying to go the other way around and use the website instead of the App Store.
Exactly, because I mean especially with Reddit too. Like I know, including myself, there's lots of people that look at Reddit sometimes without having an app or account or anything.
Well, I mean, doing Google searches often takes you to Reddit because Reddit's got some pretty good forums.
Yes.
I mean, I don't have a Reddit account, but I found myself popping on Reddit every now and then just from a simple Google search, although it sounds like we're not going to be able to even do that anymore. But
so that's especially infuriating in that case, but not as bad as the next topic.
That's bizarre that they're doing that. I added this next topic in here.
Shall I move on to that one?
Yeah, because this one is very highly concerning.
So, the state of New York it's a state of New York, right? The state of New York is writing a bill to require age verification for social media sites and more. Now, granted, this is just a bill, but still ironic.
Well, given who's in office right now, and from what we've seen, their thoughts and opinions on this type of subject, I genuinely would not be shocked if this horrible of a bill were to pass in the state of New York.
Yeah, I wouldn't be shocked either.
This is a massive problem because... Do you want to know the primary method on how they want to handle age verification?
Go ahead. I'm not a New Yorker, so I don't know, but please go ahead.
Why does the battery decide to work for like 2 seconds and then shuts off? I don't know.
Just like on mine.
It's found in my wallet.
Your ID.
Yeah!
I see a couple of problems. I see
a bunch of problems.
Our birth certificate's gonna be allowed, first of all. Because, I mean, there's some little kids that don't have that.
Well, supposedly you have to have parent permission, or I don't know how the full details on that, but apparently you have to submit some form of government ID for age verification and just general tracking. Like, I swear some of these people have completely forgotten the Fourth Amendment.
Exactly, because this is because it's like, so what if somebody that's not the right age uses the app? It's not uses an app. It's not a big deal.
Because the primary reason why they're doing this is to deal with CSAM.
Yeah.
And various other offenses against children. I'll word it like that. And the reason why is, in theory, if everybody submits their identification, then it should be impossible for these sites to match up children with these yahoos that are of legal age. That's the theory, at least. But what you don't understand, what these people don't understand, is if you do have a child submit a form of ID, be you're 16, you have a driver's license. Well, then you're actually subjecting them to even higher risks, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, because they know for sure, okay, this guy is 16, so that this guy is more at risk. But also, I would argue that, how do you know they're... But also, can't you, if it's just a picture that you can upload, then that's easy. Just have somebody just get a picture online, or just scam people for pictures of IDs, like what Nigerian scammers did to try to get money from the U.S. government back in 2020.
And then there's also the fact that, I mean, anonymity. Wow, that's a tongue twister of a word. It's a very powerful thing. There's a reason why I have not given my full legal name on the internet just yet. There's a very good reason for it.
There's a reason why I've never given the internet my middle name.
I didn't even know you had one, but
my legal
that's not relevant
name,
right now.
That's what I meant.
Yeah. I come on. I was just on. What was it? Anonymity. It's a powerful thing. It's powerful because it's highly protective. If you can't fight what you don't know. That's basically what I'm trying to say. You can't fight or stop what you don't know because you don't understand how to stop it. So, and that is a good thing for a child. If you can't harm a child if you don't know that child exists. If you understand
I totally get that.
Yeah, so doing this effectively exposes these children out in the open. And despite their best efforts of trying to use a government ID, that type of stuff. I mean, fake IDs are so easy to make these days.
They're also.
I mean, I don't have one, but I'm just told that they're easy to make.
You can easily, they're not that hard to make, and also you can easily Photoshop them, and they're not like. And granted, in person it's a lot easier to tell when they're fake, but especially if it's just pictures. Oh.
Yeah. So
also, you could realistically just guess
it will be circumvented.
Online.
Yeah, so it will be circumvented by these people you're trying to stop. They will find a way to easily get around that. It's not like they don't do that already. So, they'll get around that problem easily. And it's just, now you got these kids exposed out in the open.
And also, there's another problem with a state government doing that, which is that how are platforms going to optimize just for one state government when they have so many other states to optimize for? Because this is like a big reason why I don't think state government should have the authority to regulate mass market products like this. It's because then you got to optimize things for all sorts of different states.
I would hope that the federal government would instantly see the problem with this. Except the problem is with all of the lobbying and the push towards AI and getting a mass surveillance system put. Yes, there are legit talks in the White House of this type of system going in, nationwide mass surveillance system. You can blame Palantir as one of the primary ones. Discord is affiliated in that too, by the way. That's why I asked we stopped you doing calls on Discord. They're involved in trying to set up this government mass surveillance system. And if you guys are thinking, I'm crazy right now, go watch Gamers Nexus. He's been reporting on this like crazy. And it's pretty obvious at this point. They're now just doing it out in the open. It's not a conspiracy. No, they are just straight up doing this out in the open. We can see it with Discord. We could see it with Palantir. I mean, that's probably been Palantir's mission from the beginning.
Who's Palantir?
Literally a mass surveillance company. So, yeah, it's a bit of a problem that the White House is actually in talks with these companies to set up this awful thing. Oh, did I mention NVIDIA is involved too? Because NVIDIA apparently wants to accelerate everything Palantir does.
Good to know.
So, yeah, it's a concerning thing. And the fact that New York, again, they're trying to market this as protecting the children. And bringing this back to the 8th, what happens if you don't do your research? What happens if you don't look further into it? Well, you might not realize that you'd actually be exposing these children even more on the internet. You're taking away their shields of anonymity. And now you're just putting them out in broad daylight to have their data harvested and probably also being used to train on this AI crap. And somehow it's going to eventually make its way to Palantir, and it's an even bigger mess. So, yeah, it's a bad situation if you don't look into it. So, if you're a New Yorker, please start bombarding your representatives to say no to this bill.
And
because I'm sure you don't want this for yourself or your children.
Also, this is a new. And also, if New York does, and if New York successfully passes it, then you know exactly what other states might start doing too.
Yeah. And then I mean, even if other states don't do it, it'll be too difficult for social media firms, and this even extends outside of social media in general too. Like, I guess game developers would have to abide by the same thing because, well, I guess gaming is also a form of social media. And forums would have to do the exact same thing. You want to browse your forums? Well, I guess you have to upload your government ID. Because, well, forums can be a form of social media, because at least by the definitions that New York is setting for what is a social media, apparently it is any website that you can create a profile on or an account on. So it is not a good situation. And so that is why I'm bringing up. This is not me trying to be political at all. This is just a giant PSA for one of our own rights, the Fourth Amendment. In case anybody has forgotten it, which clearly people have. In case you did forget it, here's what it is. It's the right to privacy. So, yeah, New Yorkers, please start bombarding your representatives to say no to this bill if you want to protect yourselves and your children.
And protect the rest of the United States and possibly the rest of the
dystopian
world.
Future. That too. I mean, we've already lost Australia and the UK. They've already got to do this stuff. And it turns out it's not doing them any favors. So, yeah, it's a shame and embarrassment on them, but especially in a country where one of our own rights that should be very well known is our right to privacy. This is a big slap in the face on one of this country's foundations.
Exactly. But shall we move on to Spotify?
Yes. What's this?
So Spotify has swapped their icon for a disco ball to celebrate their 20th anniversary.
Interesting that they want to appear even more outdated, but okay.
Yes. Yeah, apparently Spotify...
Does anybody listen to disco anymore?
I think I have a grand total of one song that's sort of disco on my Apple Music library, and that's "I Was Made for Loving You" by Kiss, their most popular song. That's technically hard rock.
I think the Bee Gees counts too.
Yeah, a little bit. The Bee Gees extended a little bit before and after, in a long time after the disco era. And of course, there's the YMCA.
That's somehow disco?
You didn't know the YMCA is disco music?
I thought that was just general
Nope,
pop.
it's disco technically. It was a very popular disco hit. Very, very popular.
Learn something new every day, I guess.
I guess technically disco, but let me actually look it up now because now I'm curious. I'm gonna look up the Village People. They're well, it's technically pop, but it's like, yeah, it's icons of the disco era. Yep. Known for their massive 1978 hit YMCA. Yeah, I've never heard that before.
Shows how much I know about old music.
You've never heard the YMCA?
I have. I mean, I hear about these songs, but I don't know the history behind them.
Yeah.
So.
Well, you know about the... Well, there's a lot of people that don't know about the history of country music. From the era you listen to.
I'll be honest, not even I do, because I don't care much about the history of it. I just care about the expression of it.
Yeah, I get that. I mean, there's a lot of people that don't know about 90s and 2000s, or no, 2000s and early 2010s country music, which is what you listen to.
Yep. So.
Shall we move on? I don't use Spotify, so shall we move on to the Mark II, which is something that I will never use.
Oh, gosh.
So this is a $160 AI bookmark. So apparently,
you'd already have to have some true artificial intelligence to justify this.
I just use a piece of paper, or else... No, wait, you don't even need to use a piece of paper. You can just fold the corner of the page.
Yeah, you can do that. You could stick something else in. I mean, I'll stick wrappers or sometimes cables. You can use anything as a bookmark. So, first off, why do you need to have a electronic bookmark in the first place?
It can also apparently take notes and such, but I mean... Who... But let me ask you this. Who actually takes notes when they read books?
I mean...
They're not...
If you're in college, you do, but...
Outside of school...
I don't think you'd be taking notes on a bookmark.
Like, you can scan stuff with it, but I mean, you can also do that with your phone and a scanner, so...
Okay, what does this thing look like? I've got to see.
Look it up for yourself.
I am. What is it? Mark II?
Yeah, Mark II AI bookmark. You can probably just look up AI bookmark and it'll show up.
Wow, it's far down on the list.
And you thought the friend AI necklace is stupid.
Yeah.
It's still less stupid than that, but not by much.
Well, it already failed one item of being a bookmark. It's supposed to be thin. This isn't thin.
That's actually bad for books if it's not them.
You know what? I think an iPhone 17, or excuse me, an iPhone Air, I still call it the 17 Air. I think the iPhone Air would make for a better bookmark than this.
And the iPhone Air has everything else inside of it too.
Yeah. So even, okay. For the most part, yes, the majority of the bookmark itself actually is thin. The problem is all of the computer electronics. It is sticking out so far that if you start a book, that thing's going to protrude and your book is not going to... A key item for a bookmark is that it has to be discreet. It can't make using your book or putting your book away or storing your book in a bag any more difficult. That is going to cause problems fitting your book in a bag.
Here's another problem with the Mark II bookmark, which is that this is something that that probably isn't going to be that common, but just something to think about. There's battery inside the bookmark. And batteries, even though this is rare, they can catch fire. And this battery is presumably going to be in between paper that will also be very easily flammable.
Oh,
Now, this is probably going to be very rare, but at least we can argue that with phones, they're at least a little bit more stationary. So unless you set them on a wooden desk, and they're probably not going. That might not be too bad. But if it's inside a book like this, then
I'm already picturing the Mr. Who's the Boss tech fail. I'm already picturing it in my head.
Wonder which YouTube...
Just the millions of ways that this thing can go wrong. Obviously, the big point is, well, why are you spending $160 on a bookmark when a simple piece of paper can suffice? But then, and I'm not saying it is going to do this, but just imagine if it does. But then, we got another problem. These things have batteries that get a little warm. A little too warm.
Which, again, if they're tucked in bags...
To the point where it's setting your books on fire.
Especially, like, mind you, keep in mind that most backpacks which these books will be in, sometimes, keep in mind that these bags are often dark on the inside, so they have a lot more... But keep in mind they have, like, big bags on the inside. Like, it could easily set a whole backpack on fire, which, mind you, that could be especially dangerous, or... Let's say this book is on a bookshelf. The bookshelf is typically not only made out of wood, but also it's probably going to be surrounded by other books that are also easily flammable.
You better hope somebody doesn't accidentally leave one of these in a book when they return it to the library.
Probably not gonna happen, but it can't.
Oh, this thing is stupid.
Even though this is it has less than a 1% chance of blowing up, it's still something that we should consider.
Yeah, I am already picturing the Mr. Who's the Boss tech fail video with this. I'm already picturing the segment that this thing will get featured in.
Same, because I'm granted.
And you know your product's got a problem when people are already picturing how it's going to end up in a Mr. Who's the Boss tech fail video.
This is worse than the Juicero. You know what that was, right?
Yeah, I do. A juice machine where apparently you didn't even need the machine.
A machine that cost $700.
Yeah, that was... I think people saw right through that one.
It was one video that managed to destroy the entire product.
You didn't need the machine.
Shall we go ahead and move on to our next topic? which is we're in rumor territory now.
Rumor territory. All right. So I hear rumors that apparently in iOS 27, they're going to modify the battery icon
Yes.
to shape it the same way that it's shaped when you have the percentage. So the thing is with the battery icon is there's actually two different icons, one with percentage in it and one without. But even if you ignore the fact that one has a percentage and the other without, they're actually two completely different designs. Which I find surprising that Apple had let that slide for so long.
Since I was 16, so for as many years as we've been doing this podcast.
Probably even longer, too. But, yeah, that's, I guess they're finally getting that addressed.
Now, granted, I don't know that many people that don't keep their battery percentage on.
I mean, I have mine on.
Same.
So.
I think everybody keeps their battery percentage on.
It's always helpful to know because, especially when you don't really have that useful of a progress bar because it moves so little, it's really hard to tell how much charge you actually have in the phone.
That's why Apple added battery percentage to the let me grab it. iPhone 3GS. And that's hang on, is this? Huh. Alpha, I think we might have a problem.
It's not expanding, is it?
I don't know, because, I mean, it feels like kind of like I'm pressing down, but also like the glass is slightly cracked.
Oh dear.
Yeah, like let me compare it to my other 3GS. Yeah, it feels a little bit heavier than my other 3GS. And this is a new boot ROM iPhone 3GS, so the new boot ROM ones I found are strangely enough the ones that have batteries expanding more often. I don't know if this is expanding or not, but this has gotta be expanding. This is way too big. This feels so much heavier than my other 3GS.
Yeah, that could be a problem.
If I get it out now, then it will be good, so...
Could be a problem.
Yeah. Now I know what I might have to go inside and do one of these days.
Yep. All right.
Because I don't have a replacement battery,
what's next? Our last topic, TSMC. Oh yeah, this is hilarious. TSMC is reviving the A18 Pro chip production because apparently it's more cost effective to revive these older chips than upgrading the MacBook Neo to have an A19 Pro.
AI.
If I recall, doesn't A19 Pro have like 12 gigs of memory or something? Yeah, that's probably why they're not doing it.
Adding the extra 4 gigabytes would cost so much more. And also, keep in mind, the average Joes that are buying the MacBook Neo aren't gonna care if they have 12 gigabytes if they have 8 gigabytes instead of 12.
And again, macOS is so memory efficient. It's not like Windows. It's not like Windows that needs as much memory as you can possibly shove in it. And even then, I mean, my mom is still having problems with her laptop, by the way. It is, like, legit not functional for her. She can't... It's not doing anything.
Did she uninstall Chrome?
Well, she did, but then she re-downloaded it, and yeah, what happens when you re-download Chrome? It re-downloads the AI model.
Why doesn't she just use Firefox?
Because she's stubborn. I don't know. So, no, she's getting real peeved about this. So, if this keeps up, I may or may not have potentially sold someone on a Mac.
Hang on.
She's getting real frustrated with it.
Hang on, where do I turn this on?
Oh, the reactions?
Come on, give me balloons. Whoa, congratulations! Where's how to trigger balloon?
I think it's this. Is it this? Yep, it's this.
Yes, we got balloons! Now let me turn this off. So what a dumb but funny fun feature you use sometimes on macOS.
I know. But no, I am actually serious. She's getting absolutely fed up with Windows.
And you know,
she just comes to me and she's like, "Why is my computer not working?" And it's just because it's a combination of Microsoft and Google. Google Chrome right now sucks because of this AI problem, and then she's starting to experience a crap ton of the Windows bugs that we've discussed earlier.
Is she? And you know, if you sell your mom on a Mac, you know what else you might sell her on eventually.
I don't know if I'd be able to sell her on an iPhone. I mean, she's used iPod Touches in the past. I'll say that much. But she is so ingrained into the Samsung operating system that it's what she knows.
Yeah, but...
So, no, I've told her at this point, Mom, this is legit how it is. You guys, you and Dad keep mocking me for why I left Windows. This is why. This is straight up why I left Windows. I am tired of the constant BS that Microsoft puts me through. So I left.
You're going to be able to sell your mom a MacBook Air. Because that'll probably be the best for her.
Honestly, a MacBook Neo might do her fine, but...
I mean, maybe for the extra tabs and such, a MacBook Air might be better, but...
Yeah, probably. I mean, she is a heavy Chrome user,
say...
so MacBook Air would be good. But I gotta find one on a really good sale list because she typically doesn't spend more than like $700 on a laptop.
So maybe an older MacBook Air.
Yeah, so I'd have to find a screaming deal for a MacBook Air for her. But no, she is getting absolutely fed up with Windows, and I mean, Chrome was causing a part of it, but no, she's starting to get black screens of death.
Oh, right, they changed it to the black screen of death.
Yeah.
Because...
Yeah, she's starting to get black screens, and it is legit causing her problems. She can't do the stuff she needs to do.
Oh, right, because Windows had so many... Because there were so many people getting frustrated with the blue screen, so Microsoft decided to instead just get rid of the blue screen rather than fix all the issues.
Yep. She's getting affected by the SSD problem because what does Dell put into their systems for an SSD? Samsung.
Oh.
Yeah, apparently Windows and Samsung have some driver problems. I haven't experienced it with my tower. My tower has a Samsung SSD. It doesn't outright crash. I just lose graphics for whatever reason. As bizarre as that is. But no, nonetheless, she's getting affected by that problem, and despite that her laptop came with 16 gigs of memory, a combination of Dell hogging 10 gigs at idle, because that's what Dell does, and Chrome needing now 4 gigs just to run, plus whatever tab she's out of memory. She's out of memory.
Well, let me check how much memory I'm using right now, because this is probably one of the most intense tasks I do. Podcasting, activity monitor. Right now, I'm using 10 gigabytes.
I am using... Where's activity monitor? Right there. I am using... 14. In fairness, I have a bunch of stuff open, so
And does your laptop have 16?
Yeah, it's a 16.
Ooh.
You have OBS. I have my settings open for some reason. I've got a few tabs in Safari and Final Cut.
Ah, yeah, that would do it. I just have OBS, FaceTime, and Notes running.
So yeah, I'm fairly getting used up on memory, but still fine because macOS is just that memory efficient. So, but no, she's legit having problems with her laptop, which they weren't there to start. But this is what happens with Microsoft. They put out all these updates to make your laptop worse, and no, yeah, my mom is angry over this. She is legitimately getting angry over this. So
we're out of topics, by the way.
So yeah, but right now I'm just trying to gently push the idea of potentially switching to macOS. I'm not trying to be super obvious about it, but I'm letting her know that this isn't going to let up anytime soon. They just don't care. Microsoft doesn't care. And I wish I could say your experience with your Dell is going to get better. It's not. So, I mean, I left for a reason. There's a reason why I bought a Mac.
A 2011 MacBook Pro, mind you. Back in 2020.
A used 2011 MacBook Pro back in 2019.
It was supposed to be a 2013, mind you, but still.
Yeah, that was Amazon's. But, I mean, I still preferred that 2011 MacBook Pro to any Windows 10 PC at the time.
I switched away from my ThinkPad from 2014 to back in early 2022 to... I tried switching to my... mid 2010 MacBook Pro, that wouldn't work. My mid 2012 MacBook Pro, my first one, that also didn't work. And then eventually I switched to my 2014 MacBook Air, which granted is of the same age, for a month before I got my 2019 MacBook Pro.
Yeah. I mean, it's just, I rather have used that laptop. Even when we went to the computer lab, unless I needed to print something, I couldn't hook up my MacBook Pro to the computer lab. Or to the printers there. But any chance I got, I'm going to have you guys note, Windows and I do not get along. Can I please just bring in my MacBook Pro so we don't have any problems like this? And to my surprise, they allowed me. Despite that, it's not a school-issued computer. They have no idea what is on that thing. They still allowed me to take it in. And my goodness, that was so helpful. I didn't have to rely on any of the poorly treated Chromebooks that are missing displays because they get destroyed somehow by students. I don't have to deal with any internet issues because whenever I'm making my essays, typing up my essays, there are some that have gotten to that point. I mean, the students aren't actively using them, but you'll find them in the cart. That's besides the point. I didn't have to deal with any of that stuff. I didn't even have to worry about, is the internet going to work today so I can get my documents typed up, my English assignments. I could do it all on a laptop offline, no internet connectivity required.
Was the internet connection good at your school or not?
Well, it was good at the school. The problem is it was trash at the house. It was literally... The problem wasn't even speed related. It was like outages. It was literally out over 50% of the time. It was out so much, we constantly had to request our teachers just for extensions on our assignments that are online just because we cannot access them.
The schools really should have... Your school district... Granted, I know it wasn't your specific school's fault because I know it's probably like a statewide curriculum, but they really should have thought more about that.
They don't care. Everyone just assumes you have decent internet wherever you go. People don't ask, do you have good... No, everyone just assumes you have good internet. And when you don't, people are surprised and they act like, what the heck is wrong with you?
I mean, I think a big problem is that a lot of these tech firms that develop this software are based in urban areas, so they don't really understand the need for a lack of internet. But also, it's like... But it's also like... Also, you had to do schoolwork before Starlink was even a thing.
Yes! And that was a massive problem back then. Yeah, that was a massive problem back then. I started doing schoolwork online back in 2014, 2015. And it was just nothing but problems.
Granted, I'm several years younger than you, but I didn't have to start doing school. I didn't have to start doing schoolwork. No, wait a second. I had to technically start doing schoolwork online when I was in kindergarten in 2014. Yep, because we were supposed to read some books on a certain site, but that I didn't really do my homework very much in kindergarten. But yeah, that was what. But technically, yeah, I had to start doing some work online back when I was in kindergarten.
Fifth grade. I think it was. I don't remember. I don't know. It was 2014, 2015, sometime around there. That was when I really started to have to use the internet for schoolwork. And we were legitimately using Docs and Sheets. Google Docs and Google Sheets.
Yeah,
for typing up our essays. No, it's not Sheets. What? Oh, Slides. That's what it's. Google Slides. For presentations. They were shifting away from using Word and PowerPoint because, well, then how do you work on assignments from home? The theory was with Google Docs and Google Slides, you can work on your projects anywhere, in class or at home for homework. That was the theory. Except they completely forgot that this is UP, Michigan, in the middle of nowhere, where you cannot take fast internet for granted. No, fast internet / reliable internet. And because they had completely forgotten that, we were constantly requesting extensions until our internet at the house could come back, because it's not like I can just work on this in class.
Oh,
I mean, sometimes I can, but once we're past the due date, no, I can't just work on this in class. I have to move on because everyone else has moved on.
Did the teachers not give you much time to work on work in class?
No, she did. The problem is during the homework portion, it's expected that this is also to be worked on at home. So whatever time we're allotted to work on these projects, some of that time was in class, some of that time was at home. And I legit had less time to work on it because I couldn't work on it at home. That's how bad the internet was. And so, but it's hard to... It's hard to get it done after the expected due date, because by then we're moving on. We're done with the assignment. We're moving on. But I'm not, because I wasn't given the same amount of time to work on it, not by choice.
Exactly, and that's
It's not my fault we had bad internet.
exactly. Now, and imagine how bad it was for your teachers too, because your teachers probably didn't make the assignment.
It was annoying for them. It was annoying for them that with me specifically, they had to give me extensions because I can't work on it at home. Everyone else apparently didn't seem to have this problem.
They also might not have cared
for
enough
me
about the sport
specifically,
to do it.
oh no, that they were legit getting their work done. Yeah, people in my class, they seem to take a little more. They put a little more effort into their schoolwork than other classes. How much? I don't specifically know, but no, for the most part, my class was fairly good in terms of grades and all of that. The problem is these days, the majority of students don't care.
Oh yeah.
I'd say it's start to get you know what? I'd say starting with your class. I'm not talking like at your school, but I mean like everyone who's graduating in the year 2027.
Yeah.
That's where I'm starting to notice a lot of people just straight up not caring about doing the work.
Oh yeah, I can totally see that.
So that's what I noticed. But no, it was a problem for me because everyone else was getting these assignments done, but I couldn't because I literally couldn't access it.
Exactly, and it's not like yeah, exactly. You know, it's similar. And you saw my text about how I had to reinstall Chrome just to apply for something related to dual classes.
I know, isn't that stupid?
Like I had to use Chrome
isn't that
specifically,
stupid?
which that's annoying itself because it's not like Chrome was that big of a web browser, but I had to re-download Chrome just for that, which I can't get too specific about this because it's state related and it depends on your specific state, but basically some of it still doesn't work.
Yeah. No, I will let you know this college, general college, IT and tech like that, they don't know jack crap. They cannot build a proper IT infrastructure to save their lives.
Can't.
I should know this because I literally used to work in a facility owned by my local university. And oh my goodness, did they have our internet and networking so screwed up. If we get a power outage, we can't connect to our server, for example.
In most industries, in most businesses, for example, they usually have Wi-Fi router battery backups.
That's not even the problem. The problem is every single time we got a power outage, it would randomly turn the whole school's IT internet networking thing. It would change the IP addresses.
Oh.
It would change every device on the network's IP address. So every time the power flickered, we'd lose connectivity to our server because every device on their network changes their IP address. And it is annoying to get that fixed.
Especially because sounds like
once that IP address changes, yeah, not only do we actually lose connectivity to our, we lose the whole internet access. We can't connect to the internet because their networking is that screwed up.
And of course, how are you going to communicate to them without internet? You got to call them.
Yeah. And I'll let you know, MTU's support structure, they just... I don't have a lot of nice things to say about them right now. I really don't. But no, they're the general college IT infrastructure, be it MTU or the community college that I went to for a semester, they don't have this stuff figured out at all. It never works when they expect it to. And once they go in, they'll be like, "Oh yeah, I know the problem. Let's get this." Wait, why didn't that work? Because of course it doesn't work. You don't know crap. So, yeah, I'm not surprised that you're having issues trying to sign up for this college course or whatever. It's
I was this close to switching to AP. And College Board for Reference is the site that you have to use for AP. That's not exactly user friendly either. And I was debating switching to AP Pre-Calculus and AP English 4 because of, and I really do not want to do AP, but I got this close to switching to AP because of how annoying this college software is for dual enrollment.
Have you even talked to someone else about it?
Oh yeah. Two of my friends can't get. Two of my friends. I think at least 3 of my friends are all who are doing dual are all having the same issue. Are all having issues to some degree.
Yeah, it's the thing is, it's not just specific to your state. This is just college IT just does not have their crap sorted together.
Don't you technically get certified for IT at colleges as well? So you think that? So aren't colleges supposed to educate people about how to make proper IT infrastructure?
One would think, but no,
Yeah, certifications
that's
exist,
not the case anymore. Oh, no, there's a reason why I didn't go to college. You're paying so much money just to not learn anything.
Yeah, same. It's like computer engineering right now is a fascinating field to go into, but you're paying so much money to deal with so much idiocy that probably won't go to college.
Yeah, I just can't recommend it. I can't.
I'm guessing you still hated college when you went for a semester.
I mean, I was lucky with the professor that I had. He actually did a fairly good job. But there's a lot of other professors that it's kind of hard to have some respect for.
Oh, yeah, I totally get that.
For me, my favorite is when they have their PhDs. Oh, are those people so annoying to work with.
I know, because it's like, I can't stand how people with college degrees, including my own mom, will like brag, oh, I have a college degree, so I'm smarter than everybody else. Like, I can't stand how people with college degrees think they're smarter than everyone else, because...
When even they don't know crap.
Yeah, like, you can get... Like, let's be real here. You can get a PhD in social work, but where are you going to exactly be able to get a job with that degree? At the DMV, which, mind you, I don't even think you have to have a degree to work at the DMV. And I'm guessing you don't need... And I'm guessing you probably know how much DMV workers make.
I mean, they're paid by the state.
Not much.
Yeah.
Also, why would anybody want to work in a DMV every day? I don't even like going to the DMV myself.
We don't have a DMV, and we don't have a DMV in our area. We only have the Secretary of State office. That's what we have, at least. Because that's where we go to when we need to register our vehicles and renew our licenses and that type of stuff. Not the Department of Motor Vehicles. We go to the Secretary of State. So, yeah. No, yeah, I found that weird at first because I've watched all the movies. Everyone talks about the DMV, but no, that we don't have one in our area. We visit the Secretary of State for that type of stuff.
In other areas of Michigan, do they have DMVs?
I don't know. I don't know if this is just a Michigan thing or if it's just a Houghton County thing or... Honestly, I don't know.
Yep, there are no DMVs in there are no DMVs in Michigan, I don't think.
That would make sense, given that we visit the Secretary of State.
It's always Secretary of
stuff,
State in Michigan. And Michigan's the only state, I believe, where it seems like Michigan's the only state that does that way.
As bizarre as this state is, and as horrible as our governor and Secretary of State are, I cannot wait for those two idiots to get out.
Those two idiots probably have PhDs.
Yeah, you kind of wonder where, and then, dealing with designers. My job is I get handed a design and I'm supposed to figure out how to machine it. That's my job title, effectively. I get handed a design and then I manufacture it. The amount of people that have PhDs that I will read designs from and just look at so many problems with their prints is just infuriating. It is absolutely infuriating. Because I am constantly sending them emails. What's this dimension you completely forgot to spec? And then they'll be like, I spec'd it out, and I literally have to draw for them. I don't know this dimension, and I need to know this dimension. And they'll still... I hate people with PhDs because they think they are the smartest people in the room, and they don't know crap. They don't know crap.
Yep. Or you should also be able to... How come college graduates can't easily get employed?
A combination of, they don't know how to apply what little they have learned, and because so many people go to college, that means the list of candidates is so large, you're competing with other people for the job.
A lot of other people, I should say.
Yes. I had a former coworker who had the same problem. Just graduated college, trying to get a job somewhere else other than this area, because, in fairness, the weather does kind of suck up here for 7 months out of the year. So, I can't blame him for that, but he was struggling to find a job elsewhere because, despite being fresh out of college, there was no reason to pick him specifically over somebody else. So... it's a problem.
Yeah, and also didn't your dad have that problem too when he initially went to college?
No, his problem is he became so...
I know that he eventually became overqualified, but didn't he initially go to college and then still couldn't get a job?
Yeah. It was initially he dealt with the same thing. And then he went to college, and then he had the opposite problem where he could take the person whose job is to hire him, he could easily take their job. So, yeah, it's an interesting problem to have. But, no, yeah, I don't really have a lot of respect for PhDs.
Yeah, all the PhDs wind up working at Starbucks. Or, in your case, McDonald's, because you don't have Starbucks.
We got a Dunkin'.
Okay, well, that too, but... my point is that oftentimes PhDs wind up working in those places.
So... that's what I know on that.
Shall I go ahead and conclude the show now, because it's almost time to conclude it anyway.
Yeah, and I gotta finish that GMC video anyways. I've got to get that up for tomorrow because I'm gonna be busy. Getting on the road, headed for Petoskey.
You're getting on the road again? You know that song?
Yep, just changed Stardust's oil, got her fueled up today. And we're gonna have a nice, relaxing vacation at Lake Michigan.
Meanwhile, I'm going to enjoy. I am starting to get better, luckily, because I had this cold last week or two when we were recording, but I will have to focus on getting rid of whatever is in my throat that's bothering me. Hopefully next week.
Yeah. Oh, and a message for Tabby. Can you stop getting into car accidents, please?
Yes, Tabby. Yeah. Yo, is this one his fault?
No, this one was not his fault, but still, could you stop getting into car accidents? We'd like you to stay alive.
Yes, I am.
So, all right. That's it. Wrap it up,
As
Teddy.
always, thank you all for tuning into another episode of the iTunes Fan Podcast. As always, I'm Teddy Magger from the iTunes Fanboy.
My name is Alpha DeWolf from the
As
Random
always, we're saying
Alpha.
peace out for now and hope to see you all in the next episode. Take care, everyone.
See ya.